You know, when I watch that rugby fight, one is inclined to say, well, boys will be boys, and that's how it goes on. But there's a more serious thing here that I want to refer to, because this is indicative of something that is far greater, and I'm really referring to here the present situation, which has just been reported today, of the treachery that has happened within the British Army in Afghanistan and now the American Army in America. And clearly what's going on here is a Islamic central decision to have these attacks occur, and they are so similar in nature. And the man in America was a psychiatrist, and the other guy was being trained by the British Army, and he caught British soldiers and American soldiers in their relaxing periods, etc. And you know, it just goes to show something that I realized many years ago, and our politicians do not seem to understand. Ayatollah Khomeini said, and you know, he was the leader of Iran, and he's well recognized as being one of the heroes of the Islamic Revolution throughout the Islamic world, that you know, those who say that Islam is a peaceful religion are ignorant, and they have not read the Quran. And then he went on to say, look, you know, there's many verses in the Quran that, you know, injuncts them to get on with war and kill people. And then you see verses like, you know, convert the unbeliever if you can't cut his head off. And there's a lot more like that. Yeah, so I tend to agree with what this man says. Where Christ, you know, said, you know, forgive your enemy and love your enemy and forgive him 7 times 7, and even then keep on forgiving him. This is a completely different belief, and what we're doing is we're trying to put these two beliefs together in a war on their people. Now, when I was younger, I had a business where I ended up in madrasas in South Africa, and I ended up visiting many of them because of the sort of business I was in. And some of them I had the opportunity, because the only way we could get to where we were going was actually through the madrasa itself. And I remember going through 2 or 3 times, and I remember stopping and thinking, you know, we're going to have trouble here, because I was watching children, which would now be adults of 30 and 40, sat on the floor, legs crossed, with a Quran, and mindlessly chanting hour after hour after hour. Because when I went in, and then I did the job over there, and then I came through again, there was still chanting, 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 chanting. And that is sort of a form of drip brainwashing. In other words, it's not a thought process of, you know, think about this and do that. That's a different thing. This is just mindlessly chanting, chanting, chanting all the time. Now, you put a man like this psychiatrist into the into a situation with a Christian army, which is called the American Army, which is largely Christian, we know, and the British Army, which also is largely Christian, although they try to hide this fact now, and you know, and they go off fighting their people, what they call, you know, the Muslims. I mean, he's had 20 or 30 years of indoctrination by the Muslims. No matter what he says, if he has a bad day, even just a bad day, he may just flip over. And we saw that in the airport. It wasn't poor people who tried to do the airport up in Scotland, and it wasn't poor people who who blew up the tubes and the buses. These people had money to spend on things, and you know, they were led, and you know, there's no doubt about it. We have a problem, and the sooner our people recognize it, otherwise those pictures in that rugby film which you've just seen will start happening in these bases, because men will be, you know, will think, well, hang on a second, we can't rely on these people, you know, so they're going to have to do something. They cannot allow this to continue. You know, to me, it is absolutely imperative that the Western world realizes where we're at. Otherwise, we're going to have more tragedies like this. And I think the sooner we realize it, the better. I don't think I'll be popular for bringing this forth, but, you know, the point is that I am very upset about this. Thank you very much for listening, and, you know, if you want to contact us, there's our website there. Thank you very much.